Have you ever felt like you were on a treadmill, running as hard as you can, sweat on your brow, legs burning, only to realize you've gone nowhere? You're in exactly the same spot. For millions of people, that's not a workout, that's life. A quiet, exhausting race to prove they are worthy, to prove they are enough. And they're running it with a weight strapped to their back they can never seem to put down. This is the story of that weight. This is the psychology of never being good enough. His name was Eric. If you met him on the street, you wouldn't see the war. You'd see a man who dressed well, who held a decent job, who was unfailingly polite. His friends would tell you he was fine. They'd say he was doing okay. But inside his mind, a quiet battle raged every single day. A battle that started a long, long time ago. For as far back as Eric could remember, he felt like he was always coming up short. Not a dramatic failure, not a collapse, but a perpetual near miss. The feeling was like a ghost in his peripheral vision, always there, just out of focus, whispering that he was almost, but not quite.
He was not enough for his parents, whose eyes always drifted with a subtle disappointment toward his more accomplished older brother. He was not enough for his teachers, who wrote in neat cursive on his report cards, bright but lax application. He was not enough for the partners who drifted away over time, their fading affection leaving a cold, hollow space inside him, where he'd wonder, is there something fundamentally broken here? Something I can't ever fix? And here's the truth that changes everything. Eric's story is not unique. It is achingly, devastatingly common. That gnawing sensation of inadequacy, of never quite measuring up, is one of the quietest and most pervasive forms of human suffering. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It hides behind polished smiles, behind impressive job titles, behind the curated facade of people who seem to have it all figured out. But inside, it acts like a slow acid, drip by drip, eating away at the foundation of self-worth.
You know this voice, don't you? That restless critic in the back of your mind, the one that murmurs, you should be further along by now. You should be more confident, more successful, more put together. You should be more. And here's the cruel trick. No achievement, no trophy, no compliment ever seems to permanently silence it. They are temporary relief, a brief sip of water for a thirst that always returns. Psychologists have a name for this trap. They call it conditional self-worth. It's the belief that your value as a human being is not inherent, but depends entirely on whether you meet certain conditions: good grades, a certain salary, social approval, a specific look, a flawless performance. And when you inevitably fall short of those impossible conditions, you don't just feel disappointment about an outcome, you feel that you are the disappointment. Eric lived inside this condition. For him, praise was a fragile thing. A compliment would land on him and then slide away, like rain on a window pane, leaving no lasting mark. But a criticism, that cut deep. It sank in and stayed. He could remember a minor mistake from a decade ago with crystal clarity, while his successes from last week felt vague and blurry, like a dream he couldn't quite grasp. This is the painful asymmetry of the not enough mind. Failure is branded into memory, while victory is written in disappearing ink. But we have to understand something crucial. This mindset, this relentless inner critic, isn't some personal flaw Eric was born with. It isn't a simple case of someone being insecure. It was cultivated. In many ways, it was engineered by the world he grew up in. From our earliest days, we are measured, we are ranked, graded, sorted, and compared. The education system teaches a powerful, subtle lesson. Your worth is tied to your report card. Social media screams a different but parallel lesson. Your worth is tied to your likes, your followers, your curated perfection. And consumer culture whispers it constantly. Your worth is in what you own, how you look, the lifestyle you project. So millions of people grow up just like Eric, carrying an invisible measuring stick. And the terrible trick is that the stick is always getting longer. You get the promotion, and the stick stretches toward the next title. You lose the 10 pounds, and the stick stretches toward a different ideal. You are on a treadmill, running faster and faster, but the finish line keeps moving further away. This is not an accident. Statistically, feelings of low self-worth have skyrocketed in recent decades. Studies suggest a staggering 85% of people globally wrestle with some form of feeling not good enough. Look around you. 8 out of 10 people you see are fighting a silent version of this same battle. Why? Part of the answer is ancient, written into our very biology. For our ancestors, belonging to a tribe was a matter of life and death. Rejection meant starvation, predation, oblivion. So the human brain evolved a hypersensitive alarm system for social threat, for rejection, for comparison, for failure. That wiring is still inside your skull and mind today. But now that ancient alarm system is being hijacked. Modern systems, schools, corporations, advertising algorithms are expertly designed to trigger that alarm, to make you question if you are enough. Why? Because a person who feels lacking is a person who will work harder, buy more, strive endlessly to fill a hole that can never truly be filled by external things.
It is the engine of our modern economy, and we are its fuel. Eric felt this in his bones. He would set a goal, achieve it, and instead of a sense of arrival, he'd feel a hollow emptiness, immediately followed by the urgent need to set a new, harder goal. He believed with every fiber of his being that if he could just push a little more, accomplish a little more, then he would finally feel like he was enough. But that day was a mirage. It never came. And maybe you know this cycle. You tell yourself, when I get that salary, I'll feel secure. You get it, and suddenly the number ahead looks more secure. When I find the right partner, I'll feel lovable. You find them, and a new insecurity whispers about being kept lovable. This is the treadmill effect in full, cruel motion. The pain of never being good enough rarely shouts, it murmurs. It shows up in the hesitation before you share an idea in a meeting, convinced it's not smart enough. It's in the way you downplay a compliment, deflecting with a quick, "Oh, it was nothing." It's in the constant, quiet apology for simply taking up space. It's the flinch you feel when someone asks, "So, what do you do?" as if your job title is the final verdict on your soul. For Eric, this pain had a daily texture. He would rewrite simple emails a dozen times, paralyzed by the fear of appearing foolish. He'd scroll through social media late at night, the blue glow painting his face, as he compared his raw, unedited reality to everyone else's shining highlight reel. And with each scroll, that familiar heaviness would settle in his chest, a physical weight of not measuring up. He'd see a former classmate's vacation photos and feel a pang of inadequacy about his own life's pace. He'd read about a peer's startup success and feel a sinking sensation that he had chosen the wrong path. These were not moments of envy, but of profound self-erasure. But here is the pivotal truth, the one Eric and so many of us struggle to grasp. The feeling of never being good enough is not proof that you are broken. It is proof that you are human, living inside a machine that runs on your doubt. The very industries that surround you, flooding you with comparisons, are the same ones selling you the solution, the product, the course, the lifestyle fix. This is not a coincidence. It is a design feature. It is a closed loop of suffering and consumption. You feel inadequate, so you buy the thing that promises to fix it.
The purchase gives a fleeting high, but soon the inadequacy returns, often stronger, because now you've also failed to be satisfied by the very solution you were sold. Now, let's be clear. This isn't an argument against growth. Striving to improve, to learn, to build a better life, that is beautiful and meaningful. But there is a fundamental difference between striving from a place of self-love and striving from a place of self-loathing. The first is like building a house on a solid foundation. It adds rooms, creates space, lets in light. The second is like building on quicksand. No matter how grand the structure, it is always sinking, always demanding more material just to stay level. When good enough becomes a horizon you can never reach, life becomes a perpetual chase. You are never truly here, never able to rest, because you are always leaning into a future where you might finally become worthy. You miss the taste of your morning coffee because you're already mentally in a meeting. You miss the warmth of a conversation because you're strategizing how to be more interesting. You miss your own life. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with stones. Each stone is a belief. I'm not smart enough. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not successful enough. You get used to the weight. You adjust your posture. You think everyone must be carrying this load. But over time, it wears you down. It shapes you. Eric didn't realize how bent he had become under this burden until one ordinary morning he woke up and had a terrifying thought. I don't even know who I am beneath all this trying. That is the ultimate danger. This pain doesn't just wound your self-esteem, it can erode your very sense of self. You start to believe that you are the inadequacy, that you are at your core lacking. Your hobbies become side hustles. Your quiet moments become unproductive time. Your inherent preferences get drowned out by the noise of what you should prefer. You become a ghost in your own story, haunted by the person you think you're supposed to be. But this belief, no matter how convincing it feels, is not a truth. It is a story written by an ancient brain frightened of rejection and amplified by a modern world that profits from that fear. And stories, neuroscience tells us, can be rewritten. The neural pathways that fire together for self-criticism can, with time and practice, be repurposed for self-compassion. This is not a quick fix. It is not a switch to flip. It is the slow, deliberate work of tending a garden in soil that has been starved for kindness. It is unlearning a language you've spoken fluently your entire life and learning a new, gentler tongue. So, where do we begin? If you, like Eric, have felt this weight, the first step isn't to run faster on the treadmill. It's to step off, and that starts with recognition. You cannot change what you refuse to name. We hide this feeling, assuming we are the only ones. But when you speak it, yes, I struggle with feeling like I'm not enough. You pull the monster out of the shadows. In the light, it shrinks. The second step is a shift in perspective. Remember, this is not just your personal flaw. It is a cultural script, a systemic condition. The shame begins to lift when you realize, this isn't because I'm broken. This is because the game is rigged. That shift is a small earthquake in your soul. From there, we need tools, not for more striving, but for a different kind of seeing. Modern psychology offers powerful ones. The practice of self-compassion, literally speaking to yourself with the kindness you'd offer a dear friend, isn't just sentimental. Brain scans show it changes neural activity, calming the threat centers and building new pathways of emotional regulation. It is neurological medicine. Another tool is reframing. It doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means consciously choosing the story you tell about it. Instead of, I failed because I'm not smart enough, you learn to say, this didn't work, and I learned something valuable. My worth remains intact. This small change, repeated, builds resilience instead of shame.
A third tool is values-based living. Instead of asking, am I good enough, you start asking, is this action aligned with what I truly value? Shifting the focus from proving yourself to expressing yourself. But beyond psychology, there is a deeper philosophical truth to reclaim. Your worth is not something to be earned. It is not a prize for performance. It is inherent. It is your birthright. Think of a newborn. They have immense value, and they have achieved precisely nothing. That worth is intrinsic. It does not vanish when you grow up. It just gets buried under an avalanche of conditions and comparisons. Eric began to uncover his by starting a simple journal. At night, he wouldn't write what he did. He wrote who he was. Did he listen with patience today? Did he notice a moment of beauty in the crack of the sidewalk? Did he choose kindness, even when it was hard? These became his quiet, defiant metrics of value, untouched by the world's shifting standards. Let's get practical. If you wanted to start this shift today, you could try this. First, create an enough list. Each evening, write 3 small things that made you enough that day. I made a healthy choice. I was on time. I let myself rest.
I was curious. This retrains your brain to see sufficiency in being, not just in achieving. Second, declare a weekly comparison detox. 1 day without social media, without advertising, without consuming the highlight reels of others. Give your mind a sanctuary to hear its own voice again. Third, Take a self-compassion break. The very next time that critical voice says, "You're not good enough," pause. Place a hand on your heart. Feel the warmth. Ask, "Would I say this to someone I love?" If the answer is no, and it always is, gently rephrase it. "This is hard, and I'm doing my best. It's okay to be where I am." Fourth, practice imperfection on purpose. Share an unfinished idea. Wear something comfortable, not perfect. Break your own tiny rule. This builds a muscle of resistance against the tyranny of flawlessness. This work is not about arriving at a permanent state of blissful confidence. It is about changing your relationship with the chase itself. Eric is still on his journey. The old voice still whispers sometimes, especially when he's tired or stressed. But now he hears another voice beneath it, a quieter, stronger one that says, "You are allowed to be here, as you are, right now. This moment, this version of you, is sufficient." He finds that when he operates from this place, his work becomes more creative, his relationships more authentic, and his life, ironically, more productive in the ways that truly matter. Not in ticking boxes, but in generating meaning.
Because in the end, you are not your resume. You are not your failures. You are not the yardstick or the score. You are something far more ancient and worthy than any of those temporary measures. You are a collection of stories, a capacity for love, a unique lens through which the universe observes itself. The relentless chase for enough will always promise a future reward. But your freedom lies in a different direction, not ahead, but here, in the radical, courageous act of stopping, of breathing, of looking at your own hands and seeing not tools for building a better future, but witnesses to a precious present, of realizing that the weight you carry was never yours to bear. It was handed to you, stone by stone, by a world confused about what gives a life value. Your worth was never something to be earned. It was only ever something to be remembered. And in those moments when you remember, even for a second, the treadmill slows, the noise fades. The stones in your backpack don't vanish, but you learn to unpack them one by one, leaving them by the side of a path you no longer need to run. And you realize you were already home. You were always enough. Not because you did anything spectacular, but because you exist. And that, in this vast and often cold cosmos, is the most spectacular thing of all.